Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. Well, Barbadians are being told to brace for severe weather that can impact Barbados tomorrow and Wednesday. Met officials say they're monitoring the progress of two tropical waves to the east-southeast of Barbados, and meteorologist Wayne McGarry joins us live now with the latest. Wayne?
A blessed good evening to you, Lisa, and blessed good evening to our viewers. Now, we have Tropical Storm Dawn, which is presently approaching the area, and we are under a tropical storm watch. Now, a tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are likely within the watch area, and in this case within the next 18 to 24 hours. Now, at 5 p.m., Tropical Storm Dawn was located 11.2 degrees north, 52.5 degrees west, or about 485 miles to the east-southeast of Barbados. Now, this system is moving towards the west at around 17 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are 40 miles per hour with some higher gusts. Now, although the system will pass about 100 miles south of Barbados, tomorrow is expected to generate some pockets of moderate to heavy showers, occasional gusty winds, thunderstorm activity across the island to mid to late tomorrow into the night time. So, of course, we expect you residents to continue to listen out for updates from the meteorological office. Also, rainfall totals ranging from 1 to 2 inches are also likely during the passage of this system. So do take all the necessary precautions. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Wayne. And of course, Wayne will be back with the full weather package later on in the news. From as early as this week, some residents in St. Michael and Christchurch can expect visits from the Barbados Water Authority's sewer surveyors as part of a second public outreach program by the BWA.
The Barbados Water Authority wants to expand its sewer system, but needs to update its current records first. So from this month, it is sending 4 surveyors to collect information from householders and businesses in St. Michael and Christchurch. According to head of the BWA's Wastewater Division, Patricia Innes, it is also a response to public feedback.
We are making sure that we publicly announce these programs because we have had the complaints of many Barbadians previously that we are not engaging the public sufficiently, that the public is not aware of what's going on, that the Barbados Water Authority is not being proactive in its approach to sewage, in its approach to wastewater.
Ms. Innes says the expansion cannot be done without the input of Barbadians, who will also be given a chance to voice their concerns.
The reason we are now going door to door is sometimes the public message is not sufficient. Sometimes we need a one-on-one with Barbadians who want to know what is going on with sewage, who wants to know if we have overcome the worst, who wants to know what is the realities, and wants to be given clear instructions of what is the present state.
Ms. Innes has outlined how Barbadians can identify the surveyors.
The sewer surveyors will identify themselves. They will be equipped with BWA badges, and the BWA badges have a standard format of the BWA logo, green logo, which is non-reproducible, as well as identifying the area they're on, as well as their name and a picture photograph.
The sewer expansion is expected to cost the BWA millions of dollars, and the authority is already looking at major donors to fund the project.
We are hoping, we are hopeful that the Green Climate Fund, which is now engaging with the Barbados Water Authority, that the Green Climate Fund is able to assist us. We are now hoping for such. To be able to do that, a big part of such funding in the form of grant is the participation of Barbadians.
For the month of July, the surveying team will be in the areas of Fontbelle, St. Michael and Worthing, Christchurch. Tristan Ward, CBC News.
Thanks, Tristan. And there are strong indications that close to 50 people will join the staff of the Lucky Horseshoe Bar and Grill, and that's when its newest branch opens its doors in the city. That's the word from operations manager of its soon-to-be Bridgetown branch, Deborah Walker. She was speaking on the sidelines of a cleanup project by the restaurant staff. The newest Lucky Horseshoe in City Centre will open sometime this week. Ms. Walker is excited about the opening.
95% are all new staff, so we are bringing something different, we're putting some, let's say, needed money into the economy for those persons that weren't working. For me, opening this location is exciting. The staff here, they're all upbeat, they're motivated, and as Laura said earlier, we want to have the store open while they're still on a high and motivated.
Food and Beverage Director Laura Galt says the new branch is the start of the rebranding of the chain.
Next year, January, is going to be 20 years for Lucky Horseshoe, and we want to rebrand, and this is the start of it. When people come in, they'll notice there are different color schemes, there are different uniforms. The deli is only meant for here in City Center because we're catering to the working class people who are down here, who have to get into work early, can't always pick up something to eat, so they can come through here and get food on the way to work. They can get food when they're leaving, and also they can get food during their very short lunch hour. So that's what we're catering to down.
Ms. Galt added that staff made the decision to clean up the area from the time they knew they were going to be in City Center.
They're trying to talk about beautifying Bridgetown, making Bridgetown more lively, energetic and stuff. And this part of Bridgetown is obviously the back part of Bridgetown, so to most people, lower Broad Street area. So by beautifying the wall, putting up some new lights, all this sort of stuff, it kind of makes the area look a lot more, more picturesque, I guess is the word you could look for. We got together, we got permission from the church, and they were okay with it to go ahead and come and help to paint the wall.
The United Nations is sticking by its offer of technical assistance on population planning analysis to Barbados. And Bridgetown is being encouraged by UNICEF representative for Barbados, Kin Sandy Lewin, to take it up. She notes that, unlike other countries, the island stands out with respect to the availability of data on families.
We have the multiple indicator cluster survey that I mentioned in my speech about UNFPA, UN Women and UNICEF partnering to support CSO to undertake. The data is available on family size, the quality of care, the quality of access to critical services. So there is enough data to make those informed decisions. We would urge the use and analysis of that data.
PAHO WHO representative Dr. Godfrey Shreb says there's need for more data sharing. He says different entities collect data and do their own thing without sharing.
Because many times we end up siloed the data. So Ministry of Health collects data, Ministry of Education collects data, Ministry of Social Services collects data, but that data is not shared, that data is not analyzed comprehensively. Even data from civil society and from other sectors needs to be put into the whole pot for analysis.
Well, many of the island's top artists are remaining optimistic about the success of this year's festival, despite some negative feelings expressed by members of the public. However, at least one veteran calypsonian wants to see more creativity from local artists. It comes as finalists in the Sweet Soca and Party Monarch competitions drew their positions for this year's Soca Royale competition. Kareem Smith has that story.
Finalists in the Sweet Soca and Party Monarch competitions drew their positions for this year's Soca Royale competition on CBC's festival stage program. These are the positions which the finalists will be performing in, and judging from today's event, they're all very excited. The three newcomers to Soca Royale are Shaquille, Marsville and Sapphire, and they shared their feelings about the positions they drew and their chances in the competitions.
Ideally, I wanted number 3 or number 4, but I could work with number 2. Once it's not number 1, I good with it.
I'm okay with my position. I come into Shell, turn up the place.
We want 5 in the middle, right above everything, in between everything, still with the tempo. Yeah, so it's a great position. Actually happy with it.
Meanwhile, a number of more seasoned artists are shedding light on feedback from the public that suggests this year's festival is lacking the usual hype associated with crop over. Many of them acknowledge that such sentiments are common during the early stages of the festival, but in mid-July, it's concerning.
After the budget and thing was announced, I think people trying to hold back, their money and trying to go to specific events and stuff like that. But I think as it comes closer to the climax, that you're going to see a bigger influx of people from outside. So then the parties and everything is going to get bigger.
Honestly, I don't know what would be lacking, because I mean the music is good. Maybe it's just one of those years where people feel like the hype is not really there. But to me, the music is good. The parties are good. So not really quite sure why.
Well-respected veteran Greiner is calling out artists and songwriters for a lack of creativity in this year's music.
We need back the songs that have stories. And a lot of the songs I hear don't have no stories. They need some humor in the songs and more richness in the melodies.
Soca Royale comes off on Sunday, July 30th at the Bushy Park Raceway, a sign that there's still time for a turnaround, with a number of other major events like Soca on the Hill and Grand Kadooment still ahead. The hope is that despite the slow start, Barbadians will be singing the praises of Crop Over 2017 in the end. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Well, if the level of calypso shown by the junior contenders is anything to go by, the future of the art form is safe. But one of the individuals key to their success has some ideas on how to take their performances to the next level. For the last 2 years, accomplished musician, writer and calypsonian Crystal Cummins Beckles Holder has been officially a mentor to the contestants in the Junior Calypso Monarch competition. She's worked with them in various capacities over the years, and while she's impressed with the level of talent as well as the interesting topics and melodies the young calypsonians explore each year, there are a few things she wants put in place to help them improve.
I'd like to see more workshops actually to assist the children with stage etiquette and presentation. I'd like more calypsonians to come on board to help with the art form, help with writing, help children to be able to write, because I can only do so much. We had Bag in the workshops this year. We had Adonijah, who comes year after year to help, and it would be good to see more calypsonians come in to help in the workshop so that they could write, so the children could write their own material.
Mrs. Cummins Beckles Holder says, based on what she sees in the youngsters, the future of calypso in Barbados is bright. What she's concerned about is the transition from the junior level to the big stage. She says the children are keen to make the move, but it's hard for them to get into a tent, and the dwindling number of tents is not helping the situation.
So if there was a junior monarch tent, but not really juniors, but something like say a senior tent for the ones who moved on, the 18 and 19-year-olds who come through junior monarch and still want to do it, because they're only, this year we only had 5 tents judging. So, and every year you see a decrease. So very soon people will be scrambling looking for a place to go, and that can also kill the art form and kill the interest that the young people have. So it would be good to have a space for them to perform after Junior Monarch. Okay.
The Junior Monarch competition comes off on July 22nd at Kensington Oval. Well, Pan Pandisan wrapped up a big and, from all reports, successful weekend of Pan in Barbados. 3 events: Pan Fusion at Ilaro Court on Friday night, Pan in Speightstown on Saturday, followed by the highly anticipated Sunday event, were all well received. To say there was barely walking room at Brandon's Beach over the weekend would perhaps be the understatement of the year. In fact, there were probably as many people there as there are grains of sand on the popular beach, home to Pan Pandisan. And among the hundreds who came from all corners of the world, this family from Morocco.
This is our 3rd time in Barbados and our first time to the Crop Over Festival. It's a very nice festival and we like the event.
These Englishmen were also delighted with the event.
We're having a lovely time at Pan in the Sand. It's our first Pan. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I enjoy the island. It's an amazing place to live.
Well, the music's starting again. We're having a good time.
I'm with the family. Neville is one of my family friends, and I'm really enjoying it, the steel band.
And they were entertained by several sweet-sounding bands, among them the Commermere School Orchestra, took Pan on the Move, Ace Works Community Steel Orchestra, and the Darrell Jordan Secondary School. And several audience members supported the all-Bajan cast.
I think that our locals are just as good. They're very versatile and excellent at what they do, especially seeing the youngsters and so on. I think that is
fabulous, and I like the atmosphere and everything. So to me, I don't think that we need anybody else here to enhance it.
Palm Beach Sun is a good experience. This is my second year. Last year was on the stage playing, but this year I'm just observing. And it's good to see that we have great local musicians that come out and, you know, and that we don't need to bring in people to show, because we have local talent that is good.
Meantime, coordinator Randy Eastman says the NCF is pleased that the event is also fulfilling its developmental role.
If you look at what Mosaic is doing, having Darryl Jordan on as well, having Common School, we are contributing to the development of Pan in Barbados, as well as like the Cavalcade. We have the opportunity for new artists who have never been showcased on a big stage for their chance to come and perform for the masses and let them hear what they have to offer for crop over each year.
There were several new features this year, including Pan in the Yard and a roving band, Took Pan on the Move. We'll have more news after this break. Stay with us.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
When the crowds descend on Bushy Park for the big Soca Royale competitions, we will be there. When the social commentators in Kaiso face off for the Pickety Crop finals, we will be there. CBC, capturing it and sharing it all with you on pay-per-view via MCTV or web stream on www.cropover.cbc.bb. CBC, your link to the festival.
The head of the Barbados Vocational Training Board says the practice of young people being trained on outdated equipment needs to stop. Director Henderson Thompson says this leads to frustrated students and employers. At the moment, he says there's too large a gap between the equipment they train students on and what they use in the workplace. Mr. Thompson says the job of the board is to produce highly skilled and competent workers who can hit the ground running.
Then the student graduates, and if they go to work in some of the manufacturing complexes here in Barbados and around the Caribbean, where speed is money, they experience shock and awe to learn how to use computerized numeric control CNC machines that can cut hundreds of pieces in minutes. These machines are programmed not only to cut the materials to length and tolerance, but also to cut the joints. Thus, production time is minimized considerably. That technology has been in industry for years, for decades, and it is not in our training institutions.
Mr. Thompson was speaking during the Association of Caribbean Higher Education Administrators' 16th annual conference at the Hilton Resort. He says a lot of their work is dependent on the private sector, reminding that apprenticeship remains crucial to training.
Apprenticeships rely heavily on entities outside of the tertiary education sector to provide the high levels of mastery training required for adequate acquiring of competencies and of overall competence. In the current model employed, and this is the current model employed by the Barbados Vocational Training Board, our model runs for 3 years, and our young people go 4 days a week to a company, and 1 day they either spend doing the theoretical work at the Polytechnic or at our institution.
The Springer Memorial School is known for being the only public all-girls school. It's also respected for its rich history in athletics, but since September 2013, the school has hopes to expand its reputation with its 2 new sixth forms. Denise Blackman takes a look at its progress.
Some of us may have noticed the change at Springer Memorial.
Everybody is asked, what school is that? We're like, Sixth Form Springer.
It's now one of the youngest sixth form schools. Springer students can now graduate with certification in law, accounts, art, environmental or agricultural science, literature, business, sociology, entrepreneurship, physical education, or integrated mathematics.
We are recording on average 92% pass rate each year, and the national average is around 89.
The wide range of options has attracted many fifth formers who would have otherwise left. Where they would have ended up, we don't know. Maybe at another sixth form school or a college. But as Minister of Education Ronald Jones outlined in 2009, there needed to be more options for teenage school leavers.
Several apply to the sixth form schools, all don't make it. And so it's my task as minister to ensure that once you perform at your CSEC level, that you would have that transitional phase in the post-secondary arena of education in Barbados.
Deputy Principal Mitchell Maxwell says the expansion of government-funded sixth forms are a lifesaver, especially with rising university costs.
It becomes absolutely important because it caters to the needs of our students who might not be in a position to move to the next level of university and who might not be in a financial position to respond to what the university is asking with regard to fees. So I would say that yes, lots of parents and guardians have seen it as a buffer to assist with preparation for the next level of the tertiary experience.
Performing arts teacher Renee Taylor agrees.
I think it really offers a lot more opportunities for girls who maybe didn't have the means to maybe go on to further their education at, say, BCC or UE, EBCCA. So I think it's really good.
And physical education teacher Julie Phillips says Springer Memorial is determined to produce top-notch students.
Remember, when these girls sat the common entrance, because of how society views us as a neuro-secondary school, we are not necessarily placed on the high-ranking list. But once these students come into our school, they are nurtured, high work ethics are instilled in them, and they eventually work their way up. And I must say that some of them who would have come in with a lower end mark are some of the ones who eventually stick it out and eventually make up our sixth form program.
Letitia King, who made the Cape Regional Merit List in entrepreneurship, used what she learned to shape her business and prepare her for university life.
It takes you from the step of idea generation to venture creation, and it gives you all the in-depth between what you need to start a business, what you need to implement to make sure that your business is successful.
And the school's exciting agriculture program has attracted sixth formers Leslie Ann and Atora, who are pursuing careers in environmental science and agronomy.
I found that I loved agriculture more than my other subjects, so I decided to go sixth form.
Springer students are also excelling at law.
The grades were good. The grades knocked me off my feet. The girls did well the first time we did it, and I am looking forward for good grades at the end of August.
33 students made up the very first sixth form class, and it's since expanded. 47 in lower sixth, 39 in upper, some of them from other schools.
I came from Leicester, and I didn't think that it would have been the atmosphere that I got when I came. It's more like a family and it's loving.
86 students in total are benefiting from what is still a new sixth form. The deputy principal says there were some challenges at the start, like sourcing textbooks, but staff took the transition in stride. And she notices a pride among the sixth form students, 2 of whom use their art to brighten the compound. Overall, both students and staff have given the sixth form an A+.
Even little baby first formers, they came and be like, how is sixth form? What is it like?
I believe the Springer Memorial Sixth Form program is a great program. We have teachers that play a pivotal role in the children's education and have a keen interest in the children's success in life.
Other children get that opportunity, so we got our opportunity. Yeah. So I think we should take advantage of it.
The deputy principal assures the school will continue needs assessments to determine what subjects may be added to the syllabus in the future. Denise Blackman, Cbc News.
Fantastic news from the Springer School. Well, just ahead, we have stories from across the region, so stay tuned.
Dazzler, it's time to play. Diamond Dazzler, the new instant $250,000 scratch game from the Barbados Lottery. Available at select lottery outlets.
Different words describe different people. But in the eyes of the law, there's one that fits us all. Human right number 7. We're all equal before the law. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
The Sandals Group is closing one of its flagship locations, Sandals Grand in Antigua, for 5 months. In a letter to Chief Operations Officer at Sandals, Sean Da Costa informed the Antigua and Barbuda Workers Union that Sandals Grand will be closed effective September 20th to undertake essential maintenance works. Prime Minister Gaston Brown and Tourism Minister Assot Michael were reportedly informed a day after the union. The announcement comes following news that another hotel, the Veranda Resort and Spa, is to close between August 13th to October 13th. Over in Guyana, thieves beat and robbed an elderly woman, making off with her gold-plated false teeth. Police say the 78-year-old woman was choked, punched, slapped, and had a pillow placed over her face early yesterday morning when the two men broke into her home. The men also stole cash, gold rings, and other personal items. From September 1st, visitors to the British Virgin Islands will start paying an environmental and tourism levy of $10 at ports of entry. The levy is being implemented after the House of Assembly passed the Environmental Protection and Tourism Improvement Fund Act 2017. The act was gazetted on June 12, paving the way for visitors arriving in the territory via air or sea to be charged the levy. The legislation, however, makes provision for some people to be exempted, including residents, non-residents, 2 years old or under, and guests of the government. Well, the government says the funds collected will be used to facilitate environmental protection and improvement, climate change, as well as the maintenance and development of tourist sites and other tourism-related activities. Well, we'll give you a peek into the world of sports in just a moment, but before we get to that, here is a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Policyholders should ensure that the sum insured on their property reflects the rebuilding cost as new. In other words, you should not underinsure your property. Cooperators General Insurance, helping you to be prepared this hurricane season.